doing? How are you guys doing? Today is Tuesday, August 29th, and I have my little weekly recap, weekly update. It's been extremely difficult for me to be able to produce a vlog. I've just been really busy with certain aspects of the truck, loads, etc. So I am trying to get a vlog down, trying to get one worked out, and I promise I will have one for you guys by Saturday. Okay, get your little update for you guys in on what's been happening with the truck and go in a little more detail with certain aspects of the business. So as you guys know, I am running with JB Hunt. Leased to them. I have my truck through SFI, which is a Schneider Finance. My truck that I have is a 2017 Kenworth T680. It is a 13-speed manual transmission, and it has a PACCAR engine in it, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. So these are the numbers that I ran. Now, last week was a horrible week. Not in the aspect, that it was terrible. I just had a lot of stuff going on last week, so I wouldn't say horrible because I made home safe. I didn't have any accidents. I got back to my house in a timely fashion for my standard, and I couldn't complain. So I started on the 22nd, and I booked the load going from York, Pennsylvania to Indianapolis, which was a pickup on Monday, and I delivered that on Tuesday. That was 556 miles for $926.35. I had a blowout with this load. I had a blowout on Monday for an inside tire, and then when I got the tire repaired at the TA, the gentleman at the facility, I told him, I said, hey, look, that outside tire doesn't look too good, or the inside tire didn't look too good. He replaced the outside tire, and he said, don't worry about it. It should be okay. We submitted it for approval. Somebody higher up said, don't worry about it. Just run it how it is. It looks okay. I drove 10 minutes from the TA and had another blowout the next morning. Sat on the road for a few hours, and then from there on, we were okay. But for those events that had transpired, I had to cancel all my preloads, and I had to rebook all my freight from zero. So that happened to me about 2 times. I had to get rid of, all my loads and rebook, which anybody knows that during the middle of a week, to have to scrounge together and throw together a pre-plan is extremely difficult. So I missed out on at least $2,000 or $3,000 because of that. And then also there was some appointment changes that weren't gonna line up to begin with after I already booked the loads. JB Hunt and or the broker changed the load times for the pickup. So I lost a load because of that. And then I was able to deliver that load in Indianapolis on Wednesday morning, and then went to pick up in Alexandria, Indiana, which is red gold, super heavy load, 43,000 pounds. And the other load from York was also 43,000 pounds. That went from Alexandria, Indiana to Columbia, South Carolina. That was 612 miles for $1,203.60 to the truck. Once I delivered in Columbia, South Carolina, I got an empty. I'm sorry, they did not have an empty. And I had to go scrounge for one for about 3 to 4 hours. I looked for an empty. A good resource of drivers that aren't afraid to help each other and that aren't afraid to offer, assistance when they can. Somebody else helped me get an empty a lot quicker than, these guys were giving me here. So I went from there, and I deadheaded about 5 hours roughly to Kathleen, Georgia. And I picked that load up on the 25th, preloaded, drop and hook. And that load brought me to Hazleton, Pennsylvania, which is roughly 2 hours from my house. I live in Pennsylvania. And the mileage on that was 849 miles. And that paid $1,682.70. That brought my total revenue to $3,812.80. And then plus $254 because a load I could not deliver last week. I could not deliver that load last week because of a complication with the shipper and the pickup. So I delivered that load on Monday, and then they paid me like a prorated amount last week, and then they paid me the rest out this week. So it brought my revenue to $4,067.27 to the truck. And then after that, this week I spent an increasingly amount in fuel, and that brought me to $1,856.76. It was extremely high, guys, extremely high. A lot of deadhead, a lot of wasting time, a lot of running around, unnecessary miles. And my average cost for fuel all my gallons was $3.92, which is up 30 cents from last week. And my average miles per gallon was 5.9. My average per mile for all my loads was $2 a mile. But then when I factored in all my miles, it was $1.44. Not good, okay? It's still making it by the hair on my chinny chin chin, but it's not enough, okay? And let's get honest with you guys for a second. I've tried to lower my costs, you know, as low as I can, and I've had this truck for roughly a year and a half, almost 2 years now. The truck should be paid off in May. And as though it does seem pretty close, it is a little bit of ways, right? And the number one expense out here is fuel, right? Fuel's on the rise. Maintenance, which I always tell you guys about, right? Try to do your own maintenance. Try to work on your truck if you can. Try to save money, right? I've even been trying to figure out ways what can I use on the road to change my own tire, right? I'm in the process now. I bought some brakes. I'm gonna be putting some brakes on the truck soon. And I don't know if any of you have an idea, you know, what could I use possibly that would be able to bust the lug nuts on the semi truck. I know possibly like a 1.5 inch drive ratchet probably, or 1 3/4. But what are some things that I could buy that I'd be able to take off this truck tire? I'm noticing a little bit of a curve here, and excuse me. And a while ago, when I first got in my truck, there's a buddy of mine that's currently running with Landstar, and as I told you guys before, I used to work with UPS and I used to work with Estes. I hauled doubles for a good amount of time, and he has a dedicated account that he's running with Saya. I'm not sure what the Landstar agent's name is or anything like that. I don't know the details, but I know it is out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and I know that he's working pretty steadily hauling doubles. And I'm just noticing a little bit of a bad trend. And don't get me wrong, you know, JB Hunt is taking 35%, but from a certain aspect, the insurance is probably cheaper than most companies. I pay $175 a week for unlimited tolls, which means, I mean, you could run as many tolls as you want. I might pay a little more because I'm on the East Coast. Some guys still pay $150 or $100. I'm not sure. That's a case-by-case basis depending on where you live. But I know right now I pay $175 for unlimited tolls, and that in itself saves me a lot of money. Trailer rental, I don't have to pay a trailer rental fee, which I'm pretty sure in some way, shape, or form it's inside that 35%. But I'm just noticing a little bit of a decline, and every single week that goes on, you know, I always have a positive outlook, and I say, you know, it's going to get better. But I fear that my time here may have been overdue, and it may be time to go to...